We're moving forward. Our team is 100% focused on fighting for, working for the people of Missouri.
That was Governor Eric Greitens earlier this month. In a one-on-one interview with 5 on Your Side, the governor promised his affair and alleged blackmail was not distracting him from his work in Jefferson City. But then, well, this happened. This is Governor Eric Greitens' mugshot. It was taken moments after he was indicted for felony invasion of privacy. And this morning, the governor is once again insisting he did nothing illegal. Our team coverage begins this morning with our Abby Larico. She is live downtown with more on the charges and the governor's response. Abby, good morning.
Hey, Allie, good morning. So these are the documents that outline those felony charges you just mentioned there of invasion of privacy. They describe that Greitens took photos of a woman with whom he had an affair in a state of full or partial nudity with a device that someone else could access. But here's the thing, there is no mention of blackmail. St. Louis's circuit attorney says this all needs to play out in court and not in private meetings, as she says the governor's lawyers have requested. However, Greitens maintains that this is all political. He released a statement that said in part that the St. Louis Democratic circuit attorney is a reckless liberal prosecutor who uses her office to score political points. He added that this will not for a moment deter him from his job. However, our 5 on Your Side political expert says it just might.
Negative views of the governor are going to increase. This is inevitable. And depending on how long this drags out and how much becomes public knowledge of the testimony, of the evidence, you know, it's going to be an acid bath day after day for the governor's political future and his ability to get things done as governor.
Now, he mentioned a couple key points in there that will matter for the days to come. First, political future. Remember, Greitens is a first-term governor, a rising star in the Republican Party who is getting attention nationally, as well as he mentioned what becomes public. That's because this indictment comes not from the circuit attorney herself, but from a grand jury, and they come to the decisions that they make with all the evidence remaining confidential. So that's the very latest we know here this morning, but we of course know that this story will continue to develop. That's the latest from downtown, though. Abby Larico, 5 on Your Side.
All right, Abby, thank you so much. And joining me now is 5 on Your Side's legal expert, John Ammon. He is a law professor at St. Louis University. John, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
I know you were on our show last night when news of this first broke. And this morning, we want to help you make sense of it all. So we're talking a Class D felony charge. If he were convicted, could our governor go to jail?
No chance. I don't think there's any chance at all. This is an offense that probation is an option for. And with somebody, it could be any average citizen without a prior record, with no prior criminal history, almost anybody would get probation, I think, on an offense like this. So I don't think there's any chance really that a St. Louis judge would put the governor in jail on this kind of charge.
And John, we've already heard his legal team say that these are baseless charges, that it means nothing. Could they file a motion to dismiss?
It sounds like they already have. It's not available on CaseNet, which is the statewide legal system where lawyers can check the status of a case. So I haven't seen it yet, but they have filed a motion to dismiss, and I think that's their right strategy. They're attacking the issue of consent. The second issue of whether it was shared, I think it's not going to be too hard at all for the prosecution to show that it was on some device and went to another device, if he had it on his phone and sent it to his computer. So that's not the crux of the case. The crux of the case is what they're attacking, and that is whether this woman consented to have the photo taken.
And what do we know as far as these charges go? It's a felony invasion of privacy charge. They found something, but we don't know exactly what.
You would have to believe they have the photograph. Could also be a video, but we're assuming it's a photograph. You would have to assume that they have that, but then you get to the issue of consent. And you know what the defense is going to say, that this woman consented to be at this married man's house. She consented to be in the basement. She consented to a sexual relationship. She consented maybe to being blindfolded and bound, and they're going to argue that it's not a big leap to say then that she consented to a photograph being taken.
So what happens next? His next trial date is March 16th. So what happens?
The March 16th date is really just a perfunctory formality. Nothing major will happen that date. It's a date the court sets for the defendant and his lawyers to show up and check the status of what's happening with the case. The trial won't be for easily If the trial's before the end of this year, I'd be surprised. So these things move fairly slowly. There'll be discovery, there'll be multiple motions. So we're a long way from a trial in this. And the governor's lawyers have a tough decision to make. I think they're doing the right thing for their client by trying to get it dismissed now. But if they don't, do they want a quick trial sometime soon so it's behind us by the time of the 2020 elections? Or do they want to delay it as long as they can so people forget about it? But the longer you delay, Ellie, then you're closer to the 2020 elections.
And we know that people won't be forgetting about this anytime soon. It's made national news, and it's something a lot of people will be talking about today for sure.
Right.
John, we thank you for your time this morning.
Sure,
Always
thank
a
you.
pleasure to have you on and
Good to see
make
you.
sense of it all. Good to
Thanks.
see you as well. And this morning, we want to know, what do you think about all of this? Do you think Governor Eric Greitens should be impeached? Open the KSDK app, click Vote Now to weigh in. We will share the results all throughout the show. And of course, we will continue to follow this developing story on air and online. Download the KSDK app if you don't have it so you don't miss any new developments. Heidi?